the reality? What's the reality?
Hello, and welcome to another episode of What's the Reality? You guys, I am so excited. I have a very special guest with me today. We have Brittany from Married at First Sight, season 19. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to What's the Reality?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, you look amazing.
Thank you.
I was just telling you that I was just binging the show, and I'm in a whirlwind, so I can imagine how you are. You're fresh off the reunion.
Yep.
Okay, how are you feeling now that the season's wrapped and everything is out in the open?
It feels great. I just feel like we filmed it so long ago, and so there was this anticipation. So it was like, okay, we filmed it, and then we're thrown back into reality, and it's like, okay, when's it gonna air? Like, when's everything gonna come out? And so it's just been kind of a whirlwind watching everything.
When did you guys film?
February of 2024.
2024.
Yeah. So over a year and a half ago.
Woo.
Yeah.
So you lived a life in between.
I was like, I've lived 2 lives.
Oh my God. Okay, well, tell me what life has been like for you.
Yeah. No, it's been great. This is definitely the best that I've been. New place, new car, new job, newness, lost 30 pounds. Like it's been really great.
Yeah. For those who may not know you beyond the show, how would you like to describe yourself outside of Married at First Sight?
Oh man. Well, I'm less chaotic.
Right.
Less chaotic than what you see.
You're not chaotic.
Girl, I have
There was chaos.
There was chaos.
But you were not chaotic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I kind of just like to describe myself as just open, bubbly. What I think is what I say. I am who I am. I love to work out. I love my family. I love being around my friends. I don't know. I kind of think that I'm a ball of energy that I just like to have fun, but I'm also a little introverted. So I know when I need to go back and I need to relax and kind of just do my own thing.
Okay. Relatable.
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you decide to take the leap of faith and join the experiment and marry a complete stranger?
When you say it like that sounds a little insane, huh?
A little.
I think for me, I was just at a place where I felt secure in myself. And dating was not going well. I think on the show I said, like, I've been in relationships or situationships that don't make it past 3 months. And I'm a faith-based person. Like, my faith is everything to me. And I said, God, if this is the way that you want me to meet my husband, let's go for it. I was a fan of the show for many years. And just looking at the couples that have made it, I said, why can't I have that, right? If this is the way that I'm supposed to meet my person, why
It's
not?
Possible.
It's possible. It's out there. And it's bold. It's unique. It's just kind of my personality. It's something that I would do. So took the leap of faith, and what an experience.
Right. Okay, so tell us more about your casting process. How was it like joining the show?
Yeah, so it was very long. It was a long casting process.
Okay. Did you apply or did they reach
I did
out?
apply.
Okay.
Yeah, I applied. So I actually applied a few years back, I think in 2020, for the Houston season, because I was living in Houston at the time. And again, been a fan of the show. I was 25 years old at the time. Just lost my sister. She passed away that year. So looking back, I'm like, okay, I'm glad it didn't happen then. But the casting process was really long. I did apply for the show, and I don't know. It allowed me to, I think at that point, I knew I wanted to be married. I wanted a husband, but just going through the process, it really solidified that for me. It was a lot of, having to reflect, okay, you want a husband, but what does that look like? Like, what exactly do you want? And having to be really firm and upfront about that.
Wait, so time out. So from 2020 to getting cast in
2024.
What was happening between there that you were like, actually, no, I still want to try again, and I still want to get back on TV and still want to marry a stranger? Nothing changed in between there. You're just like, I'm still down for it. Like, I'm still gonna take the leap. But I had a couple of
situationships. Situationships. See, I wasn't gonna go relationships, but they were situationships, and it was just not it. They didn't work out, obviously. And I think what's important for me and why I like the show and why it resonated with me so much is that you're starting with commitment.
Yeah.
Right off the jump. And I feel like for the situationships that I've been in, it was always wishy-washy, right? Like there was no commitment, and I'm a very committed person. Like if I set my mind to do anything, I'm going to commit to it 100%. That's just my intense, right, kind of personality. And I said, okay, we're starting with commitment. So surely the person on the other side of this, if I'm matched, they're going to have the same level of commitment, right? And so from there, and there's going to be some sort of commonality, right? Because the experts are matching us, right? And we're giving them all this information about us. So starting with commitment, there should be some sort of compatibility. I'm like, this is good. Why not? Check, right? So, yeah.
Okay. I could see how you would be on the show and how you'd be great for this show.
Thank you.
Because I mean, like obviously I did Love is Blind.
Right.
And it's a little bit different. Like we don't see the person. So it starts off like, are you committed? Is this what you want? Blah, blah, blah. And then you see, and then everything kind of unfolds from there. But I always think like, could I be married at first sight?
That's so funny you say that because I think, could I do Love is Blind? I'm like talking to a wall. I'm like, I don't know. I talk to myself and I have great conversations with myself. So I'm like, maybe I could talk to the person on the other side of the wall. But it's the
imagine if Will was on the other side of the wall. Do you think?
That is a great question because obviously as you have seen, our communication issues are just apparent. Like blaring, like glazing.
We're gonna get into that.
We're gonna get into it.
Okay, so before you and I dive any deeper into the season, I wanted to bring my trusted Married at First Sight consultant and super fan. Brittany, you are her favorite from the season. I can't lie.
Oh, wow.
Everyone, please welcome back my sister and bestie, Tesh. Hi, sister.
Hello.
Welcome back to What's the Reality?
Thank you for having me back.
Okay, so Tesh, Brittany and I are actually filming this interview before the entire season has aired. So you've only seen up through like episode 7.
Yeah,
but I know
correct.
you've been keeping up. So I know you have a list of questions that you want to ask. So I'm going to leave the floor to you, and I'm just going to sit back and rub my belly. So you guys chat for a sec.
Lay it on me.
Hi. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Questions. Okay, so my first question is, after being intimate with your husband, there was a shift that we all saw and that you experienced. Are you able to share exactly what that shift was?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what happened?
Coming in hot.
That's okay.
My goodness.
She wants to know. Okay.
Taking my job.
That's a great question. Yeah, so it was kind of an awkward moment, right? I think not the intimacy part. It felt right. It was natural. We were in the moment,
being grown.
We're being grown. Mm-hmm. And we're like, protection, what is that? I don't know what that is. And,
And I'm married.
Yeah, and I'm married, pulling out, what is that? What does that mean? I don't know.
Right.
So all of those things. And I kind of had a moment afterwards of, oh shit, what did we just do? It was emotional time for me. I had a freak out moment. It's the first time I was intimate in a really, really long time. And I think in those moments I needed, hey, I don't regret that. Like it was both of our decisions. Like we're fine. Let's kind of talk about this. And in very Will fashion, he kind of jumped to a solution of, well, hey, let's not do that again.
Right.
And I was still getting to know him at the time. So I kind of took that as like, so you don't want to do that again? Like you don't want to be intimate with me again? I think it was, and what you've probably seen is our communication was just, I'm going this way, he's going this way, and we're not on the same track, right? We're not really understanding one another. And I took that as a little bit of rejection, whereas I think the space that he was coming from was, I saw that you just had a moment. Let's take our time with that, and let's, go a little bit slower. I didn't see that then. I was like, we just had this moment. I'm like, what if I end up pregnant? Like, sure, I'm married, but we just met one another. So it was just a lot going on in that moment.
That makes sense. Some context.
Some
I think
context,
that helps. So
yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So my next question is, so we see that your new husband travels a lot for work. How were the days without him for you? Was it refreshing to not have him there?
So actually during the wedding, there was a moment where I talked to his mom and she told me, she was like, you know, Will travels for his work and he's going to need someone that's okay with that. And that is, you know, not going to want to be around him all the time. And I said, I've prayed for a man that, you know, that travels for work. I don't need to be all up under him, you know, 24/7. So I actually had no issues with him traveling. I thought it was a little bit refreshing. I just did my own thing. You know, I remember someone asked me, well, what are you going to do while Will is gone for work? And I said, well, I'm going to do what I was doing before I met Will. And it was also great just having the other cast members as well. I got really close with a lot of them. Megan and I are still besties. So I almost feel like they took me in. So I was like, okay, Will's gone Monday through Thursday. So Monday night, I'm going to go to Megan and Derek's place and they're going to cook me dinner. And then Tuesday, I'm going to go to Chad and Belinda and they're going to cook me dinner. So it's almost like they took me in, basically. But it was great. And I also thought that we kind of have an opportunity to miss each other. You know, being in this kind of unique environment where our relationship is on hyperspeed and we're having to be around one another the entire time. I thought this little break, and especially because we were having a little bit of conflict, I thought that the break was actually much needed. And so whenever he did come back home, it was always like, oh, babe, I missed you. And, you know, I used to write him like these cute little letters.
You guys are so lovey-dovey on FaceTime, too. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, she needed a little break. Yeah.
I needed a little break. I needed to, like, miss him, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, if you saw Will on a dating app or on a night out, would he be your type?
I think so. Yeah. I was, when I first saw him, I was like, so I'm walking down the steps, right? Walking to the altar. And then I peeked over. I was like, you know, I was like, let's just see what I'm getting into. And I peeked over and the first thing, I even told him that I said, the first thing I saw were your lips. I saw your lips and I was like, okay, yeah. This is really good. So he's very handsome. Like he is very attractive. Yeah. I think I said that a few times on the show. I'm like, damn, he's fine. So, and I really believe I'm like, we actually look really good together. So yeah, if I saw him.
I think so too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm like, if I saw him, I'd be like, oh yeah, you're it.
Okay. I love that. Okay. And my final question is, what were some of your non-negotiables for the experts when choosing a partner for yourself? And do you feel like Will was a good match based on those requirements?
Ooh, I like that question. That's a good one.
Going deep.
So my non-negotiables were, number one, I needed someone religious. My faith is really important to me. I needed someone who believes in God, loves Jesus, you know, kind of all of that. And another non-negotiable was I needed someone who values commitment. And then also someone who is family oriented. And so Will loves his family. So we'll start there. The commitment thing, I was kind of still testing out through our relationship. And we had a conversation about religion actually the second day. So that's not something that's aired when I found out that he wasn't actually religious. And so that was tough for me. Because I fully believe, and I stand by this. I have to be with someone that will put God first, and then everything else will fall into place. Like I need a man that will lead according to the way God intends for a man to lead, and I was very adamant about that. And so it was just interesting to navigate, finding out that understanding he grew up. You know, in the church, he grew up like he knows the entire Bible, but going down the path of, you know, doesn't know if he believes in God. So that was actually interesting to watch back that entire scene where he's talking
to your dad,
where he's talking to my dad about religion, and he's like, and the Crusades and blah, blah, blah. And my poor dad was just like, oh, what? Like his and my mom. So my mom was like, she was very quiet because I knew in her mind, she was like, oh no, this is not going to work.
Okay. Well, just as I knew you would, you came through for me. You came through for us. I hope you got your questions answered. Do you feel satisfied with that?
Completely. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the rest of how it all turns out for you.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank
You're
you for joining
welcome.
and thank you for helping me with these questions.
And thank you
Yes, of
so much for being
course.
a fan of the show. Like really, really
Oh,
appreciative of that.
yeah, like I'm a super fan. I really wish I could tone it down, but I can't.
When they do Married at First Sight, single moms, we're having her on.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
they have to call me. Yeah. Well, look.
All right, love you, sister.
Love you. Bye. Nice to meet
Bye.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so let's go back to wedding day. You kind of
Yes.
touched on it a little bit with my sister, but what was your first impression of Will when you first met him at the altar?
Yeah. Obviously, like when I first saw him, I was like, yeah, he's really handsome. He's very attractive. I thought there was instant chemistry between us. I think, I mean, obviously we were both nervous. We're meeting a stranger. We're actually meeting our spouse at the altar. It's still
Yeah.
wild to even think about, but I thought that we had instant chemistry. I was very satisfied. I think I was more than satisfied with how things played out.
Do you know how he got on the show? Was he like approached? Did he apply?
I think he was approached.
Okay.
I remember him saying he was. Yeah, knowing Will, I don't see him applying for. I don't see him applying for
Yeah.
for Married at First Sight now.
Do you know if he had heard about the show or knew
So
what
I
he was getting
know-
into?
No, he didn't. I know he actually never watched the show.
Interesting.
So actually, in preparation for the honeymoon, we watched a couple of honeymoon
Yeah.
episodes from previous seasons.
Yeah.
And at the end, he goes, "Yeah, I don't think we should have watched that. That did nothing to."
Oh.
I'm trying my best Will voice. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think we should have watched that. That did nothing to."
But he knew the concept.
He knew it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was prepared for what he was getting into.
He was prepared
Okay.
ish. I
Yeah.
don't think he was prepared for
You.
me,
Yeah.
but he was prepared.
Okay. So communication seemed to be a really big struggle for the both of you throughout the entire marriage. Why do you think that was so hard for you both?
I think, and he made a really good point of saying this, we just kept missing each other. I think in the beginning, I went in with expectations of what I thought a husband should do and should, like how he should show up, which is obviously unfair. But I didn't even realize I had those expectations. I kind of thought that, oh, it's normal because we're starting with commitment, right? So obviously this person wants to be married. And I thought that we would just vibe and kind of be on the same page. I was not prepared for someone like Will. Will is very unique. Our communication styles are very different. Our personalities are very different. So I was not ready for that. And I think that showed. And same for Will. He was obviously not prepared for me. And so a lot of times it was, okay, I'm just trying to understand you. And I have to do that in my way. And my way is to push and ask questions like, are you happy? What do you want to do? Like, what do you like? Tell me things about you so that I know how to show up for you. And for Will, it was more, I'm just going to, be calm and I'm going to try to ask you questions about you. Although in the beginning, I felt like the questions he were asking were like surface level. What's your favorite color? It's pink.
Yeah.
I think he asked me at the dinner, what's your favorite like comic book hero? And I was like, okay, like we're on a honeymoon and you want to know my favorite comic book hero?
Right.
What?
So you kind of wanted to dive deeper.
I did, yeah.
And he was just like, I still don't know you.
Yes.
Tell me your favorite color.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you were like, we can circle back to that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I wanted this like intense passion. Like we see each other and it's just love at first sight. And, we're on the honeymoon and we're asking deep questions as we are walking on the beach, holding hands. And, and for him, it was, whoa, this is a lot. I'm very overwhelmed.
Yeah. You two also seem to have very different love languages and ways of expressing yourselves. Did you notice that right away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What did he say? He said, well, it seems like you clearly need words of affirmation. I'm like, sure. Okay. But yeah. And I think that I was trying to understand what are your love languages? Like, how do you want me to show up for you as your wife? And in the beginning, I don't feel like I I don't even know if he actually ever gave me an answer.
Don't think he did.
Yeah. And so that was just difficult for me because here I am. My approach was probably a little bit pushy. And once I felt like I wasn't getting what I needed, maybe I shut down a little bit or I got a little sassy. And in turn, he shut down.
Yeah.
Because, okay, here's Brittany with her reactions, and I don't know how to handle that.
Okay, so throughout the season, I kind of see you being like, you're very unique, you're very you're very different, you're very... And how is he different? Is he like completely different from anyone that you've dated before? Like what makes him so unique that you had to keep saying you are very you and different?
Yeah. Completely different from anyone that I've ever dated. It's interesting because the men that I've dated before, I guess my type kind of just changes. But I felt like they all had this common theme of, okay, they say they're into me. So like they kind of just show up that way. They put a lot of effort in the beginning. And so our intensity always matched. And I think what happens is why we never got past, 3 months is maybe that flame kind of burnt out very quickly. And so with Will, like he likes to not internalize. That's actually me. That was me. He likes to think about things. And you can actually see him thinking. He likes to process things. And the way that it comes out is we always joke like, oh, that's a Willism, or oh, that's a very Will answer. Because
I started seeing the cast catch on.
Yeah. It's just when you try to have a
answer.
conversation with him, he's
analyzing it in the moment. Yeah.
But it's happening real time.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's like a computer in there. And he's processing the information. So it's like he's processing everything that I'm saying and he's spitting out the information. Like he's spitting out whatever he's processed in his brain. Which is very interesting. And I think once I started to understand that, that's one of the things that I liked about him. I grew to understand that that's you. I don't want to change you. It may seem that way because I'm not understanding that, if you're happy about something, you're supposed to show your emotions, or at least that's what I felt. And I felt like I never understood what his emotions were. So it just made for just very interesting conversations.
Speaking of emotions, there were moments where it looked like you were really struggling with how Will communicated his emotions. Looking back now, what do you think was behind the tension for you?
It was not understanding that he needed to show his emotions the way that he needed to show his emotions. For me, I wear everything on my sleeve. I wear everything on my face. If I'm happy, you know it. If I'm sad, you know it. If I'm mad, you know it. For him, and I think I told Pastor Cal, I said, I don't know if he's happy, if he's mad, if he's sad, because he's just here.
Yeah. And that's on and off camera.
On and off camera. Oof. It's very difficult to navigate because I don't know how you're feeling in these moments. Which just made everything difficult for me because I'm someone that I feed off of feedback and I kind of feed off of energy. And if I don't know how you're feeling in these moments, like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And when I don't know what to do, you see, I get overwhelmed and I get frustrated. Yeah.
Were there any moments that made you question if Will was actually ready for marriage?
I can't say every day, huh? No. There were moments.
Anything in particular?
I started to I questioned our relationship obviously during the honeymoon, but I think when I started to question if he's actually ready for marriage, more so once we broke up. And like how we broke up, I started to ask myself, or at least I started to realize I don't think he was ever really ready for marriage anyway, because my definition of commitment is, okay, we're in this, we're married, and that's it. Now we're committed to one another. And I think in the way that we broke up, the fact that it was so abrupt and he was able to just completely detach himself, to me, I said, that's not someone that actually wanted to be married in the first place.
At one point, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought you mentioned that maybe he just didn't like you or that you weren't the one.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he wasn't ready for marriage, or do you think it just was you?
In the moment, I definitely thought it was me. And that was me actually internalizing a lot of things, because Will actually never said that. He never said, maybe I'm just not ready for this, or you're too much. Now, maybe in the way he handled certain things, that's how those were the assumptions that I made. But those are things that he actually never said to me. And I think, so during the retreat, I was just having this moment of, why can't he open up to me? We've been in this, we know a little bit more about each other, and why can't he open up to me? Why can't I break through? And I internalize that as, well, maybe I'm not his person. Because I feel like if you're with someone and they're your person, you should feel you're going to feel comfortable around them. You're going to want to open up to them. You're going to want to volunteer information to them.
Yeah.
That's what I believed. And so the fact that he was not able to do that, I just thought, I don't know. Maybe I'm not his person. And I know that he's been in relationships before.
Mm-hmm.
So
like long term.
Yeah. So I'm like, has he been able to do that before? And it's just, for some reason, he can't do it with me. A plus B equals C. That means that
It's
maybe
me.
I'm not his person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was clear how much you loved and cared for Will, which made decision day really hard to watch. How blindsided were you when he called that morning to tell you it was going to be a no?
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. We had dinner the day before, like the night before. And he showed up and he bought me a gift, and dinner was great. And we had a conversation actually where he said, I don't want any surprises.
Oh.
And I said, there are no surprises. He's like, it's clear that we're going to say yes. Because the last 2 weeks were our best moments. We were in it. Very little conflict. Like, we were in love. Like, we were all the things that I wanted to feel in the beginning. And obviously it just needed to happen on its natural pace. And so for him, when he said, I don't want any surprises, I'm going into this and I'm like, of course there's no surprise. Like, we're going to say yes. And like, this is going to be easy peasy. And I kind of had a feeling. So after dinner, he went to his place and I went back to our shared apartment, and I text him. We were texting about, what are you going to wear? And then maybe a couple hours later, I was going to sleep and I texted him goodnight and he didn't respond. So in my mind, I said, okay, well, he's probably already asleep already. I texted him the next morning because I woke up early to get like my makeup done. I text him and no response. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's still asleep because he doesn't need to get up as early as I do. Sitting in the makeup chair, getting my makeup done.
Oh my goodness.
So ready for this.
Yeah.
6:26 a.m. He calls me. My heart didn't sink or anything. I'm like, oh, he's calling me. Like, maybe tell me good morning. I pick up the phone and he says, hey, just want to let you know I'm going to say no. Yeah. I don't even know. I was like, what? I think I said what? Because I'm like, did I actually hear this correctly? So
Not
I got
at
up
6:26 in the morning.
6:26 in the morning. Yeah. I hadn't even eaten.
Right.
But like, I didn't know that was going to happen. So I get up and I, because the cameras were there. I wasn't mic'd up or anything, but the cameras were there. And I said, I'm not doing this in front of the camera. I walked into our bathroom and I sat on the closet floor. And I was just like, are you kidding? Like, are you joking? We just had dinner. You said you didn't want any surprises. Like, where is this coming from? He's like, I just, our communication issues. And he had said, and then they want us to move in together. And he said, what if it doesn't work out? I said, well, Will, like, we had talked about this. We want to give us a shot, in the real world and kind of see what that's going to look like. We had committed to working on our issues, and I thought that we had actually gotten better. And he was just like, well, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. What if it doesn't work out? And he said, and I'm moving into your place and I no longer have my apartment. So if we break up, and he's just
spiraling.
He's being Will. He's processing things, right? He's trying to be very logical about it. And I was, please don't do this. Don't do this. And then I said, but if you do this, like, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just need you. And I said, I need you to be sure. So we're getting ready. I think at one point I said, this is stupid. I'm like getting ready to go get a divorce. It was tough.
Yeah.
Hysterically crying the entire day. I didn't eat that entire day. And a long filming day. It was a long, long day. So we get there. I'm a mess because I knew there was no changing his mind. So here we are going to have this conversation. I'm going to pour my heart out as like a Hail Mary. And it's not my mindset. It's not going to resonate with him. He's made up his mind.
Right.
And Will is very stubborn.
Right.
He made up his mind. And so we get there and it was just absolutely emotional. I think, I started out with telling him how much I love him and all of these things. And then I saw him cry. I'm like, oh shit,
There's something new.
There's something there. He has emotions.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this. I kind of like it. I kind of like cry. See, I'm like, this is what I'll cry for me. This is what I want. But it was emotional.
Yeah.
It was really emotional. And I think that what he kept saying, we just need more time. I wish we had more time. And
how long is the process?
It's 8 weeks.
Okay.
It's an 8-week process. But what's interesting about that, he kept saying while we're on the chair or on the couch and the experts are there, I just wish we had more time. And I told him, I said, you realize saying no, that's it. We're done. But you saying yes, that gives us the time to do all these things that we said we're going to do. We're going to go to couples therapy. We're going to, try to make it work. That's giving us more time. So as you see, like he gets up and he goes to walk and I don't know how he processes that information. But I remember when he got up, I told Dr. Pia, I said, this is pointless. There's no changing his mind. And I wasn't trying to change his mind. I just needed to say all the things that I needed to say because I realized that maybe I hadn't done a good enough job of letting him know that I do love you. I know, and I didn't think he questioned my love for him. I know that you love me.
Yeah.
I think that was something that he did question. And maybe I didn't do a good enough job of telling him that. So yeah, he came back and yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So now what are we thinking? Because it was a no.
It was a no.
At 6:26 in the morning.
6:26 in the morning.
Then he talks to the experts or
Yeah.
has a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's yes.
Now it's a yes. And I was happy, obviously, when he said yes, but they don't show, but when we're walking out together, I asked him, I said, were you secure in your no? And he said, no, I wasn't. And then I looked at him and I said, are you secure in your yes? And he says, yes. I'm like, okay. And what's interesting that day is he travels for work. He left that evening. So we didn't even have a chance to talk about what the hell just happened.
Oh, for work?
Yeah, he left that evening to go to
wow.
work. And I'm spiraling. I'm like, well, he didn't have a chance to talk. Like he was really going to say no. We were really going to get a divorce. Like this was going to be it. So I was spiraling that week. It was just, I did not feel secure.
Did you guys talk?
We talked that night and then he was very busy for work that week. So we hadn't really talked. And I was being, okay, just like text me, like, let me know, can we talk? Like, let me know if you can pull away from work and like, let's just actually have this conversation. That week, I was looking up couples therapy. I was like looking it up and I texted him and I said, hey, I found a couple of people, like I made a couple of consultations for us to try couples therapy whenever you get back. And I think what did it for him, I had called him on the Friday. He was coming back. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go pick you up. I'm going to cook us dinner and we can actually have this conversation. And I called him and he seemed really annoyed. And so once we got off the phone, I said, oh, you don't seem like you're happy to see me. And I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
So he gets back home from his work trip.
Yep.
Comes home to you.
Yeah. He gets back home from his work trip, walks in, he has this suitcase, and I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm like, oh, okay, he has a suitcase. Like, he just got back from work. But that entire day, I had a feeling that he was going to break up with me because when I said, oh, you don't seem happy to see me. And then I said, this has just been an emotional week. Like, I just can't wait to talk to you. And he texted me back and he said, I'm going to make sure that never happens again. At that moment, I was like,
That's a daunting text.
yeah, that's exactly what he said. I said, he's going to break up with me. So I was prepared for that. I was actually prepared. I'm like, we're going to have a conversation and like, this is going to be it. Because at that point, I'm like, I need to say what I need to say. He comes home, has a suitcase. He sits down and he looks at me. He says, I don't want to do this anymore. And then
Are we still filming at this point?
We're in filming, but the cameras aren't there. So we
Okay.
have, the little,
Yeah.
the apartment cameras. So they capture this.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be married to you anymore. I'm like, I wasn't prepared for that. I was prepared to like have a conversation about this. And so he gets up, walks to the closet, and I follow him. And he's, I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't care about you. just like,
I don't care.
I don't
about
care
you.
about you. I don't care about you. Very cold.
That's
Very
bizarre.
cold. Yeah. And he explains it as, I needed to be that way because I needed you to understand like that this was it. There was no.
So he needed to be mean.
He needed to be mean, so he says.
I don't like that.
I didn't like it either.
Were there outside influences that you think maybe clouded his judgment? Was there like family or friends that maybe you think got into his head, or do you think this is just a Will production?
I think it's just a Will production. Will is very, like, I don't think he's easily influenced by people. Like, I kind of think that he just is who he is.
Yeah.
There was actually a conversation weeks prior where this was awkward. He like made up this, I don't know how this happened, but he thought that I thought that he was having an inappropriate relationship with one of the producers. And I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? And
why would he think that?
I don't know. And still to this day,
He brought it up to you?
He didn't bring it up. It was weird how it found out. So he called one of the cast members. Like, I was sick that entire week, so I couldn't film that day. So Will was gone and he was filming. I was sick that day and I saw some of the cast like out at the pool. So I went down there to talk to them. Just sitting there like chopping it up. Hi guys, what are you like? Oh, you guys had crawfish? You know, kind of just chopping it up with everybody. And then one of the cast members gets a phone call. And it was just weird. Like his body language kind of changed. And I didn't recognize, actually Megan. Megan was the one that said, oh, Chad's talking to Will. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I wonder what they're talking about. But it was interesting because Chad like got up from the chair. He like walked away. Like, what are they talking about? So Chad gets back and I just see it all over his face. He just looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm probing. What did y'all talk about? And he says, well, you know, Will asked me, there's something that he wanted to talk to you about, but he doesn't know how to bring it up to you. I'm like, oh no, now you got to tell me because what are we talking about?
What's going on?
And it was, well, I don't know verbatim, but you know, he thinks that you think that he's having this inappropriate relationship with one of the producers. And I'm like, what the hell I'm like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
Like, what? No, what? No. I'm like, where is this coming from? So I get back to my room and I tried to call him. Hey, like, where is this coming from? Can you come home so we can talk about it? I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm like, okay, that's fine. What time do you think you're gonna be back? I think he said like 11. So I call him at 11 because he's not there. I'm like, hey, are you on your way? I just stopped at this taco truck. I should be home in a little bit. Okay. And I call him back because it was like 30 minutes that passed. And I said, hey, are you coming home? And we're talking. And then all of a sudden he hangs up and then he FaceTimes me. But he FaceTimes me and it's his mom and it's his sister also on FaceTime. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And he's at home. I can see that he's at home. I'm just like, what? Am I this sick? I'm like, is this a dream? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And so we're FaceTiming with them and I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? Like, what's going on? And just like a, normal conversation. It was real quick. Get off of FaceTime. I call him back and I say, what the hell was that?
Right.
It's like, I just needed you to see that I'm at home and I'm not doing anything. What are you talking about, Will? Like, where is this coming from?
This is all out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
Yeah.
I never gave him any sort of reason to think any of that. And he goes, well, I just feel like you don't trust me. Where is this coming from? I said, we have communication issues, not trust issues.
Yeah.
And then, so it was weird because I said, come home because we need to talk. Okay, I'm coming. He texts me back and he says, I'm not coming. I want a divorce. I don't want to be with you. This is 1:07 a.m. And I remember because I had just taken a Benadryl.
My girl got the time.
I got the time stamps. 1:07 a.m. 1:07 in like 30 seconds probably.
I love this.
He's like, and then he texts me back and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm really drunk. I'm like, what the fuck
At
is going on?
1:07 a.m.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I was pissed.
Hold on. So tacos truck.
Yeah.
Then mom and
friends,
sister.
then tacos truck, then mom and sister, and
Then we don't talk the rest of the night.
yeah.
Then you wake up at 7:00. What did you say?
107.
1:07 in the morning.
Because I'm waiting for him
and
to
now
get home.
he's drunk.
And now he's like, I want a divorce. If this is how it's going to be, I don't want to. He's like, I don't want to do this.
Okay.
So that was, we got past that.
Yeah,
we got
clearly,
past that.
Yeah.
Because we had a conversation the next day off camera. And it was just like, what the hell was that? I still
Did we ever get clarity?
No, I still to this day don't know.
Do we know which production member it might have been?
Yeah, I know exactly who he's talking about. I actually I said, because Will had a hard time I thought he had a hard time opening up. And I'm like, okay, he's not talking to me. He's not talking to the other guy producer. I said, but I like that I told the producer, I said, I like that you're able to get him to open up to you. And I said, I want you to actually start doing his interviews. I don't want the guy producer to do it, because I want you to start doing it, because he seems like he can open up to you.
Do you think that probably?
I don't know. I just think that's it's weird. We'll never know.
Yeah. Unless something comes out. Okay. Okay. So you filmed your reunion yesterday.
Yes.
How are you feeling about it?
I feel great.
Yeah.
I felt great going into it. I'm like, I'm just here to show up. I'm just here to look good. I'm here to do a couple of little kiki ha-has, at some of the stories. I'm here to give all the facial expressions, but like, I feel great.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, Will and I hadn't talked to each other. It's over a year and a half. No communication, nothing.
Hadn't seen him.
Hadn't seen him, hadn't talked to him, hadn't heard from him, nothing. But I still felt great, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm past this.
How was it seeing him?
It was good,
Mm-hmm.
actually. It was good.
Did you miss him?
No. I didn't, because like I said earlier, I'm like, I've lived like 2 lives since then, right?
And that was the first time you guys spoke.
First time.
And you felt nothing, just...
No. I mean, I felt like it was good to see him.
Yeah.
It was good to see him. It was good to see, he's doing well, but there was no unresolved feelings or anything like that. I didn't know how it was going to go, because we hadn't talked. And the last time that we did talk, it was just abrupt. And, we didn't end well. So I didn't know how it was go. And I was preparing, like, I did a whole bunch of therapy, after the breakup. Shout out to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did a whole bunch of therapy, and I'm like preparing for the reunion with my therapist. And she said, well, they're expecting that Brittany to show up, the Brittany that maybe had all of the insecurities and like over the top reactions. They're expecting that to show up. That's not you. You're a healed version of yourself now. And I said, yeah, that's true, and that's what I want to portray. Like, that's how I want to show up. And she said, how do you think Will's gonna show up? Because you have to be prepared. And I told her, I'm like, I don't know. I can't sit here. I can't speculate. All I can do is, answer the questions and kind of share my experience. And I hope that it's going to be cordial. And that's that. And so it was that, but it was, we had some moments, a little bit of moments, but he showed up a little bit differently than, not what I expected, because I didn't expect anything, but he showed up better than I thought he would have. And I think we just got to a point where I think he had said, I don't know this Brittany.
Oh.
And I was like, that's very true. Like, you don't know this Brittany, and I don't know who you are today. But all in all, I'm very happy with how the reunion went.
Yeah. What was the most shocking moment of the reunion, in your opinion?
I think probably just how easy our dialogue was. And it almost seemed to feel like we were kind of falling back into like that comfortability around one another. And I mean, because throughout it, other people are sharing their stories. And, one of the cast members that Will doesn't 100% care for, he's talking and doing his thing. And I'm making my facial expressions like I normally do. And Will caught me. And so like now we're going back and forth, and we're just like making facial expressions at one another. I'm like, it was just so easy, falling back into that comfortability. So I think that was probably the most shocking, because it's like, dang, we hadn't talked in almost 2 years, but we see each other and it's instant, like, here we are.
Do you think you guys could be friends?
I think we could be amicable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we could be cordial. I don't know about friends. Like, I don't see us, hey, bestie, like, let's go get lunch, right? Oh, I said that, but we're talking about Will and I. Yeah, but we're not talking about us three. I could see us like hanging out in, friend circles, but us two, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay,
so can you tell them about what happened after?
I was gonna get there. We're not done. We're
pull up a seat.
bring her on stage. We are, but we're not there yet.
I'm crying. Okay, well, let's get there then. Shit.
Let's get there.
Just so y'all know, Megan is here and she's piping in and she's holding you accountable.
She's calling me
she's not
out.
letting anything slide.
And I'm like, girl, we gonna get there.
Megan got some tea.
Megan got all the tea.
I'm crying.
Well, like she said, we are like sisters. I think we
love
have like
that.
twin telepathy.
Are you guys the closest from this season?
Yeah, she is my best friend. Ride or
That's
die.
You guys kind of had similar energies and personalities on the show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You hear that?
Okay, let's get to the tea.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you feel like you needed to say or need to say that you didn't get a chance to say?
I don't think there's anything in the moment. But Will and I actually, so we were able to catch up after the reunion.
Here we go.
Yes, girl. We were able to, and it just, me and Megan and Jalen were just sitting at the bar. Will came by and just having a conversation. And I think at some point, we're in a group setting, so everyone's talking. And at some point, it's just Will and I having a conversation. And then Megan and Jalen, they dipped out. And I said, hey, Will, can I actually just talk to you? Like, let's just talk. And it was a very beautiful moment. We actually spent like 3 hours just talking. Last night. Spent 3 hours just talking. We both apologized for everything. He told me he still appreciates me and he still cares about me. And I said, yeah, I still appreciate you. I still care about you. It was just, I didn't know I needed that. I walked into a reunion thinking like, I'm just going to show up. I want people to see how I am today, and that's how I'm going to show up. I don't need to say anything to him, but actually having that conversation with him, I realized that I needed to talk to him. I needed to know that we were good, and we apologized for everything. And, I saw the growth in him. So he told me he's watching the episodes as well. And he goes, man, my tone. He's like, did I really talk like that? And I said, yeah, you did. He's like, I'm so sorry for that. He said, was I actually really a robot? I said, you said that, not me. But I love seeing him kind of watch it back and try to see it from my perspective, because as I've been watching the show, that's what I've been trying to do. And we just came to this moment of like, you're a great person. Like, we're good. I can see why we were matched. Kind of held my hand and we're like looking in each other's eyes and like having this moment. None of those feelings, but it was a really great moment that I'm actually just so grateful that we had.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say you learned from your marriage with Will?
Yeah, I learned to just let things play out. I learned to not internalize things and kind of take everything personally. I learned that not everyone is going to show up how I show up. And that's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just everyone is different. And I need to appreciate, everyone's uniqueness. I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I was insecure in moments, and I reacted out of those insecurities. I reacted out of fear. And I also learned to give myself grace.
Yeah.
I don't care what the people in the comments say. They talk about my nails. They say, I need therapy. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, little do you know, I am in therapy.
Thank
so
you.
That's a compliment. Thank
and
you.
the nails eat.
Thank you.
They're so cute. Let me see. Yeah, they're cute.
I'm like, let me get them a little bit longer and a little bit more dramatic.
Piss more people
for
off.
the people,
Yeah.
for the people at home. But yeah, I just learned to give myself grace because what we did, it's not easy. We showed up and we're kind of thrust into this environment where we had to be vulnerable. And even for Will, like I can see that he was being vulnerable. I mean, even just showing up, you're already being vulnerable. So yeah, I just learned to give myself grace and like damn, Brittany, kind of relax
Yeah.
a little bit, you know?
Is there anything that you would do differently if you could go back?
No. And the reason I say that is because I needed to experience everything that happened. I needed everything to go that way in order for me to be the person that I am today.
Yeah.
I love who I am today. And if it hadn't been for everything that I did, everything that I went through, all of those experiences, the person that's like sitting here today talking to you, you know, I wouldn't be who I am.
Okay, so let me ask you then, how do you feel about love and marriage today after everything you've experienced?
I'm still a hopeless romantic.
Yay.
I'm still a hopeless romantic. I am still waiting for my man
He's coming.
to come sweep me off of my feet.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Like I'm excited for this next journey. I'm excited for the next chapter. I've, you know, I think it's a privilege to be able to watch ourselves back and, you know, kind of see like, oh, I don't like that, or like this is, you know, if I could do something differently, like I would, and being able to take that and carry it into who we are today. Like how many people can say that they, you know,
Yeah.
can
see
watch
who you
themselves,
were,
who they
who
were,
you are, and who you wanna be.
So
Yeah.
it's such a privilege, and
It
I think if
is.
you don't take advantage of that, you're missing the whole point.
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Because I've had nothing but time to reflect on my
yeah,
TV time.
right? Yeah,
And I'm just like, that girl was so cute, but that's not me.
exactly.
And that's not who I want to be.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like you have to take advantage of that because there's a lot of people that go on and they're just like, I was perfect. I was fine.
Yeah.
And don't reflect and don't change and then wonder why they're perpetuating situations. And I think if you could take time to reflect and be like, maybe not my best,
Yeah.
not my worst, not who I am and not who I want to be. I think that is very powerful.
Yeah,
So you said you're still a lover girl.
I'm a lover girl.
Relationship status is
It is single
single.
and ready to mingle.
I know that's right. Are you dating?
I dated. I went on a few dates, but I'm
Yeah.
not actively dating, nothing serious. I've really taken this time to kind of just transform myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and because I want to show up right for my person. And I also want to be able to spot, like I want to have that discernment. I want to be able to spot like, okay, yeah, this is him. Like this is
Yeah.
who God has for me. Yeah.
So you said you're excited for what's next
Mhm.
for you. What is next for Brittany?
Whew, that's a great question. I'm open to all of the possibilities.
Yeah. More TV, reality TV.
You know, I do want to be on the challenge.
That would be nice.
I do want to be on the challenge. I've been preparing for
What
it.
about dating?
Reality TV, dating.
I mean, don't knock it.
Don't know. You know what?
Don't
You're
knock
right.
it.
You're right. I wanna have my
Yeah.
AD moment
Second
too.
time's a charm.
Second time's a charm
For some of us.
Yeah.
Challenge would be good.
Challenge would be good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to if that's the way it's supposed to go. Finding my man, that doing another reality dating show. I'd
Perfect
be open
match.
to it. I'd
Call
be
my
open to it.
girl.
Call me up. Hit me up. I'll be ready. I'll look good too.
And you will, and you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, well, so we're going into dating, more career focused.
Yeah.
Where are we?
So like I mentioned, I have a new job and it's awesome. It's amazing. So I want to continue to, I still want to be able to do this,
Yeah.
right? But also still be the corporate baddie that I am. So we'll see how I can, continue to balance that, but just more so the same, definitely want to open myself up to dating. I want to travel more. I want to, really just immerse myself into this new, different life.
Yeah.
And just really be grateful and open for all of the opportunities that are going to come.
And they're going to come.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank
and
you.
everything coming your way.
Thank you.
I think you have a really, really bright future. You're so beautiful. You're so sweet and kind. And I really did enjoy watching your journey. It was a roller coaster.
Yes.
And it was entertaining.
Yeah.
But it brought you here. And I feel like I now have a new friend.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited for you. And I'm really grateful that you joined me on What's the Reality.
Thank you. I'm really grateful that thank you so much for having
Of
me here
course.
and just getting to meet you. And, because obviously I followed your journey as well. And just to see where you
Thank
are
you.
today, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank
And
you, thank you.
it was written exactly the way it was supposed to be written.
Whew. it was
Yeah.
a book, but you know,
Yeah.
we're here.
And it's so crazy, right? Because we don't know the ending, but he does.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching another episode of What's the Reality. Be sure to follow us on all social platforms at What's the Reality Pod, and I will see you next Wednesday.
What's the reality? What's the reality?